네, 이제 곧 본 컨퍼런스 개회식이 시작될 예정입니다. 지금 입장하고 계신 모든 참석자분들께서는 저희 직원분들의 안내에 따라서 가급적 앞쪽 빈 좌석부터 차례차례 착석해 주시면 감사드리겠습니다. 여러분 고맙습니다.
제14회 국가식품클러스터 국제컨퍼런스.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We will now begin the 14th Foodpolis International Conference, jointly hosted by the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs, Jeonbuk Special Self-Governing Province, and Iksan City, and organized by the Foodpolis. First of all, I would like to extend our heartfelt welcome to everyone attending the conference in person and to those joining us online. We have many participants joining us online as well today, and I will be your MC today, Ra Yong-nan. It's a pleasure to meet all of you. Thank you very much. This year's conference is being held under the theme of Exploring Innovation in the Food Industry and the Sustainable Future of Food here at COEX. Now, in its 14th year, this event is dedicated to advancing Korea's food industry through in-depth discussions as well as collaborative agenda setting. I kindly ask for your continued interest and support for this meaningful event until the end of the program. To begin with, let us introduce the distinguished guests who have graced us with their presence today, and please welcome them with a big hand. We are honored to have Director Kim Shin-jae from the MAPRA, who has worked tirelessly for the successful hosting of today's event. Please welcome him with a big hand. Thank you very much. We are also joined by President Kim Deok-ho of the Foodpolis of the Republic of Korea. Thank you very much. Yes, we will talk about how to explore innovation in the food industry and the sustainable future of food. So I have the honor to invite up on stage President Kim Deok-ho, who is going to deliver his opening remarks. Please welcome President with a big round of applause.
So please give him another big round of applause. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am the president of the Korea Institute for Food Industry Cluster, Kim Do-ko. I would like to extend my warmest welcome to everyone who is joining us here at the 14th Foodpolis International Conference. I would like to express my special gratitude to Minister Song Mi-ryung of the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs, and also Chairman Oh Gi-gu of the Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs and Oceans and Fisheries Committee of the National Assembly, Representative Jung and Representative Lee Won-taek, for sending their warm welcome and congratulatory message for today's event. I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to our keynote speaker, Mr. Thomas Caso, the CEO of Nestlé Korea, as well as Han Jung, Regional Industry Head of IFF, and John Kim, Strategic Marketing Group Leader of COSMAXNBT, Nakamura Takashi, Manager of Kuraray, and David Kim, CTO of Intake. The Korea Institute for Food Industry Cluster has hosted both online and offline seminars throughout this year to reflect on the future of the food industry and to work on building networks within the domestic and international food industries. As a culmination of these efforts, it is with great pleasure that we are holding the 14th Foodpolis International Conference. I believe that the valuable time you have dedicated by attending today's conference will lay the foundation and nourish the great tree that is the food industry, ultimately leading to the precious fruits of a sustainable future in food. We kindly ask for your continued interest and participation in the Foodpolis International Conference. Now let us commence the 14th Foodpolis International Conference. I hope today will be a meaningful and enriching experience for all of you. Thank you.
네, 감사의 박수 보내주시기 바랍니다.
Thank you very much.
소중한 개회사를 전해주신 김덕호
So that was the warm opening remarks by President Kim Do-ko. So the food police as well as the food industry is the future driver of growth, and we look forward to listening to all the insights and input from the speakers and participants, and I think that was one of the key messages of his speech. Now, although unable to attend in person due to a busy schedule, we have a message of welcome from our distinguished guests. First is welcome address video from Minister Song Mi-ryung of the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Song Mi-ryung, Minister of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs. I sincerely congratulate you on the opening of the 14th Foodpolis International Conference. My heartfelt thanks go to Mr. Kim Do-ko, President of Foodpolis, as well as those involved for organizing this meaningful event. I would like to extend a warm welcome to Mr. Thomas Caso, CEO of Nestlé Korea, who will deliver today's keynote speech, as well as all the experts from home and abroad who are joining us with their presentations and discussions. This international conference has been organized under the theme Exploring Innovation in the Food Industry and the Sustainable Future of Food, to explore the path forward for the future of the food industry. Recently, the food industry has been facing numerous challenges due to digital transformation and increasing consumer demands for sustainability. In response, the Korean government is doing its utmost to meet the diverse consumer demands in the food sector and to drive the innovative growth of K-agri-food. In addition to the national food cluster, we are planning to establish regional hubs for new industries such as food tech and green bio to enhance the added value of the food sector. Furthermore, we're expanding support for the export of K-Food Plus, which includes upstream and downstream industries such as smart farms, agricultural machinery, as well as pet food. I hope that all of you joining us here today will become steadfast partners in our journey toward the future of the K-agri-food industry. Thank you very much.
네, 감사의 박수 전해주시기
So thank you very
바랍니다.
much. Please give the minister another big round of applause. She talked about creating added value in the food industry and how the government will support these efforts. So now continuing, we have more congratulatory messages. The chairman of the Agriculture, Food, Rural Affairs and the Oceans and Fisheries Committee of the National Assembly, Ogigu, has sent his congratulatory video. Good afternoon. I am Ogigu, the chairman of the Agriculture, Food, Rural Affairs and Oceans and Fisheries Committee of the National Assembly. I would like to congratulate the hosting of the 14th Foodpolis International Conference. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to President Kim Do-ko and all the staff of the Korea Institute for Food Industry Cluster, as well as the officials from the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs for preparing this very meaningful event. The international community is in need of sustainable technologies and management strategies to overcome the climate crisis. At the same time, amidst the transformative changes brought about by the widespread integration of AI into our daily lives, our food industry is also rapidly evolving. In the midst of these changes, I hope today's conference will provide an opportunity to delve into the topics of customized functional foods and eco-friendly alternative foods, which are expected to play a crucial role in the global food industry. As the chairman of the National Assembly's Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs Committee, I too will do my utmost to support the innovative growth of the domestic food industry. Thank you.
네, 따뜻한 응원과 함께 축사 메시지 보내주신
Thank you very much,
위원장님 진심으로 감사드립니다.
Chairman Ogigu, for the congratulatory video message. Now moving on to the second one from the National Assembly member Jung Hee-young. Good afternoon. I am Jung Hee-young, a member of the National Assembly representing 고령군, 성주군, 칠곡군 in Gyeongsangnam-do and the Secretary of the People Power Party and the National Assembly's Agriculture, Food, Rural Affairs, Oceans and Fisheries Committee. I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations on the 14th Foodpolis International Conference. My deepest gratitude goes to Minister Song Mi-ryong of the MAFRA, Governor Kim Kwan-young of Jeollabuk-do, Mayor Jung Hun-yul of Iksan City, and Chairman Kim Duk-ho of Foodpolis for organizing this very meaningful event. In a rapidly changing environment, the only way to survival is through innovation. I hope that today's conference, held under the theme Exploring Innovation in the Food Industry and the Sustainable Future of Food, will serve as a platform for extensive discussions about the food industry and provide valuable insights to lead the future of the food sector. I wish health and happiness to all participants joining us today. Thank you.
So
thank you very much for your valuable words. We like to thank Parliamentarian Jung Hee-young for his meaningful words. Last but not least, Parliamentarian Lee Won-taek has also sent his congratulatory message. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Lee Won-taek, a member of the National Assembly from the Democratic Party of Korea. I wholeheartedly congratulate the hosting of the 14th Foodpolis International Conference. I would like to express my deep gratitude to the President and all those involved at the Korea Institute for Food Industry Cluster for organizing this invaluable event to discuss the future development of the food industry. Currently, the world is facing significant food-related challenges due to conflicts and the climate crisis. In such circumstances, the role of the food industry will only become more crucial. At today's conference, I hope we can predict the future of the food industry, provide clear direction, and help the domestic food industry develop as an important sector in the global economy. I kindly ask that all of you, as members of the industry, approach today's discussions with a sense of responsibility and gain deep, meaningful insights. Once again, I congratulate on the successful hosting of the conference, and the Democratic Party of Korea will also do its best for the continuous development of the food industry. Thank you.
Yes, so that was a cheering and cheerful message for the Foodpolis by National Assembly member Lee Won-taek. Thank you very much for that remark. So as it was said by many of the speakers, we have to explore solutions for the humanity in addressing climate change, and we'll be able to find that in the food sector. And I would like to now proceed with the group photo session with the speakers today. I would like to invite up on stage Director Kim Jong-gu, President Kim Duk-ho, as well as all the other speakers who will be presenting today.
I would like to invite our speakers, all our VIPs on together on this stage. Thank you very much for your great attendance. Right. 네, 한 분 한 분 소중한 자리로 함께
So we
모셔보았는데요.
would like to invite all of the guests to take their place on the stage. If you can stand closer together.
Look at the camera with your brightest smile. 네, 밝은 미소와 함께 여러분과 사진 촬영 한 차례
Please smile
진행을
for our
하고
cameras. We
있습니다.
are now
네,
taking
작가님
the group photo.
괜찮으시다면 박수 한번 할까요? 네.
So why don't we
여러분 큰
give
박수로 함께 이
all of our
시간을
VIP
기록해
guests
주시기
another
바랍니다.
big
Will you
round
please
of
make a big
applause?
applause all together. 우리 내빈분들께서도 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 밝은 미소와 함께 큰
Please
박수,
smile for our
우리의 힘찬
cameras.
여정을
Please
응원하는
give
마음을
everyone a
담아서
big round of
기록했습니다.
applause
고맙습니다.
as we begin
Thank you
our
very
journey.
much. Please return your seat. 네, 고맙습니다.
So thank you very much.
앞서 많은 분들께서 전해주신
So,
식품 산업의 혁신,
many
우리의
people have
도약을
talked
위한
about
그
the
마음을
innovation of the
드리면서
food
오늘 강연이
industry,
무척
and I
기대되었는데요.
think that
오늘
many of you are
강연에
looking
대해서
forward
잠시
to today's
안내를
lectures.
드리도록 하겠습니다. 각 강연이 이루어진
After
이후에
each lecture
모든
is
질의응답은
delivered, all of the
마지막 패널
questions
토론을
will be
통해서
taken
나누도록
during the
하겠습니다.
panel
일정상
discussion,
마지막 패널
and
토론에
the
함께하지 못하시는 코스맥스
from
NBT
Mr. John Kim from
전해주시기
Strategic Marketing Group Leader of COSMAXNBT will not be joining us for the panel discussion. So if you have any questions for his lecture, please send him an email. His email address is on page 63 of our program booklet. Thank you. As I'm sure everyone is looking forward to the next keynote speech, we have today the honor of introducing to you Mr. Thomas Caso, the CEO of Nestlé Korea. 네, 그러면은 네슬 코리아
to deliver the keynote speech. Please give him a big round of applause. 여러분 큰 박수로 토마스 카소 대표님을 환영해 주시기 바랍니다. Thank you very much.
Thank you. 감사합니다. 안녕하십니까? I apologize, my Korean is not yet good enough to do this in Korean, but hopefully one day. First of all, a warm thank you to Kim Jong-kyu from the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs, as well as Kim Do-ko from the Director of Foodpolis for the invitation to be here. It's a pleasure and an honor. Thank you very much. In the next few slides, it will be my pleasure to introduce you a little bit to Nestlé and the work we are doing on our path towards a sustainable and innovative future. First, let me tell you a little bit about our company. Like many big companies, we take our purpose and our values very, very seriously. They define who we are, they define how we act, they define our behaviors, and it's often the easiest way to begin to understand who we are. Our purpose is to unlock the power of food, to enhance quality of life for everyone today and for generations to come. And our values are quite simple but robust. We are grounded in respect. This is respect for self, this is respect for others, this is a respect for diversity, and a deep respect for the future as well. Our company's story, we have a foundational story, which we love to tell because it speaks to who we are still today. Back in the mid to late 1800s, there was a very high level of infant mortality in Europe, in Switzerland in particular, where our company was founded. And the man whose picture you see in the top, that is Mr. Henri Nestlé. The company has his name. And at that time, through a combination of scientific innovation, marketing know-how, he invented the product you see in the middle, our first product, which in French is called farine lactée. It was a food for babies, because he saw the need at the time. And the last picture is, of course, bringing us to today, that we don't forget that past, we don't forget what it tells us in terms of the core originating moments of our company, and the combination of science and brand, which remains so critical to us today. In a very symbolic way, this is our history through some of our brands. This is by no means all of our brands, but you may see some familiar names. Obviously, beginning on the far end in the late 1800s, you can see we began generally in confectionery and coffee. We have expanded, we've deepened on food, we've deepened on coffee. And the pink circles, these are brands that we find here in our market in Korea today, that are Nestlé brands and that we are very proud of. So hopefully you see some that you know and love. These are the babies we have to take care of as managers. And again, this is just illustrative brands. We have many, many more. If you'd like to understand Nestlé in a more analytical way, this is one way to begin. We are extremely global. We can be found in almost every country in the world, our brands, that is. We are sizable. Our sales in 23, was just about 93 billion CHF, which in Korean won is 145 trillion. We currently have 340 factories in 76 countries around the world. We have over 2,000 brands. 7 main product categories, and we have what we call our billionaire brands. These are brands that have an inherent worth of over 1 billion Swiss francs. These are our special ones. And we are in fact the world's #1 coffee company as well. We pride ourselves on being pioneers on innovation. And as a relatively large food company, we invest sizable amounts, of course, in R&D. We have over 4,100 research and development employees and 23 R&D locations scattered all across the world. And the green is maybe the good starting point for our conversation today. We view ourselves and strive to be and remain a force for good. We, for example, and I'll go into this in further detail in a few moments, we have a robust plan to reach net zero by 2050. This is a company goal that all of us are working towards and against. If you go to our many factories around the world, you will find that almost 92% of them are powered by renewable electricity sources, including in places as remote as Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. We are striving against packaging to be sure that we are designed for recycling, and we're already marching very quickly towards that end as well. If we want to dive down a little bit towards the strategy, and this is the global strategy of the group, you can see some of our main concerns and interest areas and the choices we opt to make. Of course, from our history, we apply our expertise in nutrition, health, and wellness. This is how we view ourselves as a company. Our goal, never ending, is to offer affordable, safe, and of course, high-quality nutrition. We increasingly use safe and environmentally friendly packaging. This is an immense initiative within the group. If you've been to Europe, if you've been to even Japan, and even increasingly now here in Korea, you will start to see new packaging styles from Nestlé. This is deliberate, this is on purpose. This is to be sure that we have products that are themselves designed not to be thrown away after a single use, but to go back into the chain and the circularity that we all seek. The products, their health, their taste, and their convenience remains our priorities and our root responsibility. Again, we are driven by innovation. We are an innovation company. And we are now seeking to enhance food systems and offer many more plant-based options for a variety of reasons that I think we can all imagine. And we, of course, focus on strategic and increasingly attractive categories to become increasingly involved in. Now, all of what I just said is organized at an intellectual level within our group under one main idea, which is creating shared value, what we call internally CSV. CSV is our way of thinking that what is our role as a company, irrespective of where we may be in the world. And for us, it's not merely shareholder return. It's responsibly thinking of society at the same time and generating value for society at the same time. And this is a large macro idea that substantively informs how we do business, what decisions we make, what value chains, what questions we ask, what we measure ourselves on. This is a foundational idea for us that is integral to how we do our business. One of the things over the last 5 to 6 years that we have grown increasingly active in, both with respect to internal organizational learning but also engagements, is what we call a climate-centered approach that advances regenerative food systems. Again, we're a very big food company. We procure across multiple value chains around the globe, and we understand that with the scale that we have, decisions we make are impactful. And our intention to advance regenerative food systems at scale, it's a profound development in our internal thinking. We seek to advance by raising our voice and our size, knowing that we can make an impact just by virtue of doing so. The word regenerative was chosen because it's to help protect, renew, and restore farmland and landscapes. Food systems was chosen because a system encompasses every actor, activity, process, and product involved in growing, raising, making, delivering, even consuming food. So we have to think in a systems way, not just in a value chain way. And we chose the word at scale again because the planet, the communities, the individuals need global and systems level change, not individual change. So this transition to a regenerative agricultural model is paramount to us and has become increasingly more present in our day-to-day, whether it's with respect to procurement, the scientific questions we ask of ourselves, the research directions we are deeply investing in. And here is just an illustrative list of some of the areas recently we've been deep diving in internally. Obviously, biodiversity. We seek a regenerative agricultural system to help increase the biodiversity both above and below the soil. The soil itself, obviously, we have to scale up farming practices that are pro-soil. Water, obviously, is paramount to life in and of itself, and obviously reducing chemical farm inputs, optimizing organic fertilization, studying biological pest control, irrigation techniques. We have a lot of research in these spaces to understand it as well as we reasonably can to ensure that it informs the decisions we eventually make. And of course, livestock are a critical component to all questions associated with regenerative agriculture. And integrating livestock and optimized grazing, there's a lot of research underway within our company in this space as well. And please do not disregard the fact that the farmers are at the center of this slide, because the science is not just science for science sake. It's to ensure that the livelihoods of those who are involved are intricately reviewed, examined, and optimally expanded. So if you recall, I mentioned creating shared value as kind of the idea in and of itself. And here are some focus areas and commitments that I'm happy to be able to share with you. And I can tell you that as a manager, as a CEO of a Nestlé entity, these are numbers that are real. These are numbers that I march against in my own way here in Korea, as do all of my similarly situated peers around the world. These are not just at headquarters numbers. These are decentralized numbers that we share. Obviously, with respect to supporting tasty and balanced diets, we have commitments. We look at our total portfolio multiple times a year. We assess on the health star rating where our products lie, what percentage of products are above a certain level or below, what are our strategic plans in place to augment the percentages in the directions that we seek. That is a very big strategic space for us. The second is net zero. I mentioned at the very beginning, we do have a net zero goal to be zero as a company by 2050. We are well underway. There's a ton of work associated with this. For nature and biodiversity, we are actively in more sensitive value streams working to ensure that, first of all, we are deforestation free and all the associated elements with respect to human rights management, livelihood development, things like that. And packaging and circularity, we'll see in some slides to come, but obviously recyclable and reusable is very critical to us everywhere we work in the world. Again, we are a very large company with a very large impact, and we have a responsibility to ensure we move the needle as much as we can, and science allows. Resilient communities, I've mentioned some of it already. It's really with respect to responsible sourcing of our ingredients. Human rights, I mentioned a little bit. Youth, we have very large initiatives around the world. We call it Nestlé Needs Youth, to make an impact and to directly impact over 10 million youths around the world by 2030. And of course, we seek to be an employer of choice. As I mentioned at the very first slide, we are based on respect. We assess ourselves with respect to maintaining that sense of importance of respect. And we seek to be an employer of choice for our very important employees around the world. So tasty and balanced diets. Let's deep dive a little bit. We have what we call our good for you strategy. And you can see our ambition. It's to bring tasty and balanced diets within reach for billions today and for generations to come. 2 key pillars, our portfolio and our products, and then the communications and the servings that very often are on the products themselves. And this is touching our global portfolio. In more detail, I think the blue on top is the portion of our current total portfolio of products that have a health star rating above 3.5. This means they're on the healthier side of the health star spectrum, generally speaking. That does mean we have 21 and 20% with the health star rating less than. And this is not something we're embarrassed about. This is not something we feel we need to rectify, but it is one where we do have a role to play, because if your health star rating is less than 1.5, then this would necessarily need to be, ideally, an occasional indulgence. This is not something for regular, everyday consumption, the nutritionists would say. Same for a little bit higher on the health star rating, but still below 3.5. This would have to be mindful enjoyment. Maybe there's a little more sugar content. Maybe there's a little more salt content. And as a producer of food, we do have a responsibility to be sure that we're communicating as transparently and clearly as possible if the health star ratings are less than 3.5 level, and that's something we take quite seriously. So you can see we guide where it's less than 3.5, and we seek to grow where it's more than 3.5. And we have hard targets how we'd like to grow the healthier side of our portfolio. Plant-based portfolio, I think we can go quickly, but we have moved quite quickly on this as a group, because the research shows us from a variety of perspectives that people are moving this way. There's an interest here, both from the consumer side and obviously from the ecological side, there's an interest at play as well that is not insignificant. These are just some of the examples you can see from within our portfolio around the world. There is an amazing amount of research underway within our group in this space to be sure that we have the science, we have the consumer insights, and that we can ideally win in the future in this important and growing space. Healthy aging, this is actually a business that is alive and well here in Korea as well. Obviously, as population demographics around the world evolve, this is a space where business opportunities lie and obviously commensurate responsibilities lie. We have a lot of innovation research underway in this space too. Quickly, on the road to net zero, I mentioned it already twice, but these are our goals. And these are goals, again, that are cascaded all the way down our organization. All operations have visibility to these KPIs, and we structure our operations with respect to the expectations they set. For agriculture and biodiversity, I've mentioned much of this, I think we can go quickly, but agroforestry and shade management. One of my previous markets, I was in Central West Africa. And this was a very big part of my job as the CEO there, was to ensure and assess the farms, the cooperatives and the farmers individually with respect to land use practices, biodiversity, avoiding monocropping, things like this. Packaging and circularity. Just today I had a visit from a technical expert from our headquarters on this very subject. We have a robust amount of work and research underway. And we can categorize it in these 3 main ways. Obviously, less packaging is generally good. Better packaging is always good. And better systems, while not entirely within our control, is something we play an active role in helping to encourage as well. Here are some examples, reducing our packaging complexity, increasing the use of rPET, reusable containers and refill systems. Just last week, I believe, we launched in France, I believe, a Kit Kat packaging in aluminum, for example, where it's a reusable aluminum cylinder. And pioneering alternative materials to facilitate recycling, and a little more on this to come. Obviously, and this is the broader piece of this pie, we work to support the development of infrastructure with respect to waste management in general, but also recycling in particular and circularity around it. And internally, of course, we walk the talk as much as we can with respect to our own behaviors of consumption, whether it's in our offices and beyond, places that we control. And we, of course, advocate on behalf of what we believe in this space too. These are just local examples from here in Korea. If you are a consumer of either Dolce Gusto or Nespresso, I hope you know and are taking advantage of the fact that we have recycling programs for both. These are important programs and projects for us that I track monthly. I take quite seriously. And we simultaneously work with the industry, we work with the government, we work with partners to do what we can to share what learnings we have and frankly learn from others at the same time, because this is something that optimally can go to scale and not just impact one company such as our own. It's an exciting space. Let's go now a little deeper into innovation, and we call it innovation with purpose. So at the top, you can see what we call our fundamentals. These are kind of the non-negotiables for us as a company. Obviously, it starts with safety and quality. This is our ethos. This is our DNA. We have a lot of research underway in that space. Taste and aroma. I remember being surprised when I first joined the group how much aroma matters on a product like coffee. It's an astounding KPI to track and to understand, and we spend a lot of time and effort to optimize our understanding of both taste and aroma. Nutrition and health, obviously sugar reduction, coffee bioactives are just two illustrative streams of analysis underway among many, many more. Affordability, we look to find ways in which our products can be as healthy as they could be, but also as accessible as they could be. Please keep in mind, we work in countries where maybe the weekly income is less than $5. So these are micro purchases sometimes. So a lot of research underway in that space. New plant varieties. We have a lot of work. We have farms around the world basically where we test varieties of plants. We have a lot of studies just to be sure that the varieties are commensurate with what we're seeking and the context and the realities of the world around us. A lot of research recently on alternative proteins, on coffee systems, therapeutic nutrition, more and more. And increasingly, as pets become more central in many cultures around the world, a lot of science-based nutrition for our dear pets as well. So on the far left, or left-hand side, you can see this is just literally scientific data results as we assess drought and disease-resistant streams of coffee. We measure and assess low-carbon fertilizer, biological pest control, among many other things in the green coffee space. We are probably, if not the largest coffee buyer in the world, so understanding and preparing for the future is paramount to us, of course. Roasting and brewing, and again, coffee systems. And you can see here, just next to me, one of our newer pod technologies. This is moving away from the aluminum space into a more compostable or at least recyclable version. Two examples, one from Central America, one from South America. Again, on our farms, the science and the yield results you can see are quite impressive. Some packaging that we're excited about. It's new. It creates a little buzz when it hits the shelves. We're doing it for the right reasons. We have day packs for pure soluble, paper cans for some of our cappuccinos, and other paper can varieties for pure soluble coffee around the world. We will start seeing some of this in Korea not too long as well. Again, technologies in the coffee space. These are on the market, soon to be on the market in Korea. Very excited about them for the stories they tell, but also, frankly, the research and innovation that has gone into them. Our plant-based line extensions around the world. This is all the result of research and innovation. And increasingly, and this is very much a buzzword these days, we realize, but it's real, and it's in our house too, with respect to using new technologies to gather insights, whether it's consumer insights, recipe insights, concepts in and of themselves. We use AI more and more, faster and faster, to help us speed up, to help us increase the quality of analysis and review, and ideally to find solution sets that are as close to optimum as they could conceivably be. Increasingly, and we've been doing this for some time, quite a bit of machine learning in Nestlé as well. More examples and some market examples from not too far from here. Launching new products using social media and e-commerce. We test online communications real time. So it's more speeding up the data analysis and review using technology and consumer behavior more and more. Again, in the coffee space, because it's so critical to us, we're using technology and even AI for sensory voltage assessments. Instead of hiring people to do it, AI can do it much faster and without the subjectivity that is inherent to all of us. Shelf life prediction models, things like this. Yield improvement, I showed you the raw data before, but this is sizable impact to us. This is all the result of the research and development, the questions we ask internally. And obviously a yield increase that maintains quality is in everyone's interest across the value chain, and that's something that we will never stop working towards. So I've gone through quite a bit in a very top-line way, and I apologize if it felt like and then. The goal was less to be substantive, more to show you the range, more to show you the core interests that we have, frankly, the innovation investments that we engage in, the rationale behind them, and hopefully through a brief amount of time sharing with you, you can understand our company a little better and understand how we view our role being at the intersect of innovation and sustainability. It's a nexus point for us. It's how we will sustain who we are and how we operate, and it's how we do business at the same time. So with that, I'd like to say thank you. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, Thomas Caso, for sharing us greatly meaningful and valuable keynote speech for today's conference. It's been very greatly valuable chance to learn about the effort Nestlé is making for sustainable environment. I truly hope that more and more domestic and global company will join Nestlé's meaningful path to sustainable and innovative future. Thank you very much. 네, 그럼 이어서 오늘 기조 연설과 같이 유의미한 첫 번째 세션이 진행되는데요.
Now we will move on to session 1, and I would like to introduce to you the theme as well as the speakers. The first session will feature 2 presentations under the theme of development of personalized functional foods. We will discuss together to explore solutions home and abroad, and we have 2 speakers. So first of all, under the theme of global and Asian trends in health, functional foods, and consumer insights, Ms. Han Jung, Director at IFF Health and Biosciences, will deliver the presentation. Please welcome Ms. Han with a big hand. Hello, everyone. I'm going to talk about probiotic supplement trends as well as consumer insights. I am Regional Product Manager at IFF Health Sciences, Jung Han. Thank you very much for inviting me to this conference as a speaker. I would like to thank Foodpolis as well as MAFRA for your invitation. These are the topics of my presentation today. First of all, I will share with you global consumer insights, and among others, I will focus on the Asia-Pacific market trends in probiotics. We will also have a sub-region quick view by country, and last but not least, I will share with you some key focus health categories and the trends. If you look at the Global Consumer Insights survey, after the pandemic, consumers are taking more personal responsibility for their own health. And among others, as for the food supplements, you can say that 27% are taking supplements to improve health. And in Asia, that percentage is much higher, of 32%. So a lot of people are taking supplements to improve their health and take care of their health. And one of the important priorities for health management and preventing illnesses is weight management, enhancing mental health, as well as immunity. If that is the case, then if we look at the supplements categories, what are some important consumer insights or trends that we can identify? It's very much in line with the overall consumer trends. The most attention is given to prevention. And the second is, as Nestlé CEO said in his presentation, with digital and AI transformation, a lot of health-related applications are on the rise, and health-related online consultations are on the rise. So digital has been quickly embedded into our daily lives. And the sustainable and natural materials are of great interest and subject to increasing demand by consumers. And microbiome researches are actively in place. So based on these researches, a lot of products are being marketed and launched. So there is more focus being placed on microbiome. There is probiotics, which is very much closely related with microbiome. So let us delve deeper into this market. When it comes to probiotics market, its value is more than $11 billion worldwide. And traditionally, it was led by North America and European markets. But after the pandemic, with the growing interest of Asian consumers, you can see Chinese, Japanese, and Korean consumers that are looking towards this market. So overall, you can say that 52% of the entire market is led by Asia. If you look at the trends of new products, you can see that digestive and immune health are still the major focuses, but based on the multiple needs materials, we can see that the women's health, weight management, skin health, all of these areas are launching new products catering to the needs of the consumers. And the reason that is possible is because other than prebiotics, there is the other like plant-based products as well as collagen-based products. So there are lots of probiotics plus alpha products that are being launched. So these are helping to cater to the needs of the consumers. Now let me briefly talk about the probiotics market here in Korea. So this is the overall basket size and the overall amount are on the rise. So you can see that compared to a very fast growth in the past, the growth has slightly declined, but we believe that it's going to grow at 6.6% until 2027. And with the rapid digitalization, the retail market represents about 70% here in Korea. And you can see that these are the fast-growing products focusing on the mental health, skin health, as well as wealth management. So these are the products that are being launched more. And when asking consumers about what kind of health concerns that they have, number one was digestive health, followed by immune health, wealth management, brain mental health, skin health, lastly, health aging. Now, The largest market in Asia is China. Let us have a look at the Chinese market. You can see that the 44% of the entire market is through retail platform. And the most notable functions of the consumers is the gastrointestinal health, weight management, followed by immunity. We conducted a survey on Chinese consumers from 25 to 49 years of age. You can say that they have a lot of health concerns, and it was mostly focused on women living in big cities. And we asked about their health priorities or health concerns. So they answered digestive and immune health and mental health as their biggest health concerns. And going forward, they said they would be interested in skin health and weight management and buy more products in these categories. A lot of Chinese consumers are very keen on product safety. That is why when they buy probiotics, they look at safety, efficacy, as well as the country of origin for raw materials. Now let's look at our nearby neighbor, Japan. As you may well know, in Japan, they use postbiotics, but you can see that the postbiotics and probiotics market are growing at the same time. So there are two markets that coexist. The average growth until now was 7%, but looking towards 2030, we can look towards 4% annual growth, and the food supplements represent about 54%. Since Japan is a super-aged society, healthy aging and anti-aging matters are very important. And there is also a growing social concern about women's health. And that is why there are lots of products targeting women's health that are gaining momentum. When it comes to normal probiotics, it's focused on GI health. But when it comes to immune health, as well as mental health and wealth management, a lot of these areas related products are being launched in Japan. And going forward, there will be more market opportunities for multifunctional products. Now, the largest growing market is the Southeast Asian market. We're talking about Thailand, Vietnam, and Indonesia driving the market. In terms of market size, it's only about 1/3 of that of Korea. But by 2028, we expect about 13% of a average growth. So we would see an accelerated growth. As for Thailand, they are very much influenced by the Korean K culture. So there are some regulatory constraints, but when it comes to weight management and skin beauty, there are a lot of needs, and they tend to follow trends of South Korea. As for Indonesia, they have many local brands, but it would very much depend on the marketing activities for the foreign companies to enter the Indonesian market. And I think the South Korean companies are interested in Vietnam. There is a growing need for food products and especially food supplements. And when it comes to probiotics, Vietnamese people are very keen on its safety. But as for the products that are being distributed in the market, the CFU is low and the cost is also low. And that is why we have to train the consumers more and raise awareness about consumers more so that we can suggest more formula options. And with the development of online retail channels, added with the consumer training, I think that we can see more opportunities in the Vietnamese market as well. So to summarize, in China and in Korea, a lot of major Asian countries used to drive growth, but going forward, India and Southeast Asian markets, as they are accelerating their growth, they will be providing a lot of food supplements through online. And if they develop very enhanced online sales tools and channels, these markets will present a lot of opportunities for growth. As for our company, our focus is on 4 health categories. And first is about digestive and immune health. Let me elaborate more on this. Traditionally speaking, when it comes to digestive and immune health, they have been important concerns in Asia as well as in other parts of the world. They have been considered as one of the most important health priorities. Overall, as of 2020, it is a market valued at more than 9 trillion won. And in Asia, the market share is number one China, followed by Korea, and then India. By 2029, we expect to see an average 7% growth. By 2029, the market will become a 14 trillion Korean market. And that is because there will be more enhanced awareness of consumers regarding digestive and immune health. And the dietary style and lifestyles of people will evolve, and the aging will accelerate. So that is why there will be more and more consumers who will be complaining about digestive and immune health issues. And that is why this segment presents a lot of growth potential. So what about the related products and its market? If you look at the market size, it's about 10 trillion Korean won. And Asia represents about 61% of that value. And among others, China is main driver of this market. And if you look at the countries in Asia with new products, you can see that nearly 1 in 3 new product launch claims immune health in Asia Pacific region. So the largest drivers are China and also Australia and New Zealand, who are active in MPL. And the botanical ingredients and materials represent the largest portion, followed by 15% of probiotics in terms of ingredients penetration. So when it comes to immune health, we believe that the segmentation will deepen, but we're not just talking about just general immune health. There will be products related with flu and also to address allergy-related issues. All of these products will continue to be launched. Second, there is an active development going on in the weight management market. In the past and also in the future, this is of great interest. And in China, Korea, and Vietnam, there is high interest in terms of weight management products. Not only Korea, but also the overall Asia and global market, consumers are very much interested in addressing their needs in diets and are losing weight. So they are willing to pay a lot of money to manage their weight, which is shown in survey results. And in order to achieve that goal, there is a huge need to take supplements. And that is why in the overall market, Asia represents about 50%. And going forward, by 2030, it is projected to grow at a CAGR of 14%. So the overall market size would exceed 10 trillion Korean won. So in line with the market and consumer trends, we have conducted a study for the past 17 years. I'm going to share with you our project, How Are You Shape. So if you actually take this for 6 months, you can reduce your waist size by 1 inches. And there are lots of health benefits given by this. And we have completed a clinical trial. So it is a functional ingredient. I briefly mentioned about China, and it is the largest sold ingredient in China as well. And there is another segment that has huge potential for growth in the future, and that is women's health, especially focusing on skin health. When it comes to skin health, in the past and also in the future, will become the top 3 health concerns. So 66% in Korea, 62% in China are willing to spend their money in the skincare products. And as for the skin beauty products, Asia is a leader in the world. So overall, the market size is about 6 trillion Korean won. And among all countries, Asia is most interested in launching new products. So new product launch will be accelerated in the Asian market, and especially probiotics and collagen products. The combo products will be the trend. So on the right, that is a product case study. So a conventional brand company launched a beauty product that contains probiotics. So in order to meet these consumer trends, we launched How Are You Radiance Skin Strain based on clinical trial. So this is a functional strain that can tighten the skin, and it can help protect skin beauty. So we conducted a consumer survey. Demographically speaking, one of the important markets is the menopause market. So by 2030, in South Korea, half of the female population, that is 13.15 million women, will face menopause. And in China, the number will exceed 200 million people. And that is why the market size is about 5 trillion Korean won. Going forward, given the demographic change, this is a market that has a huge growth potential. Unfortunately, in China, one product dominates 75% of the market, and in Korea, if you look at the new product launch trend, the products that meet the needs of the menopause women is only 1% of the entire product. But when we conducted a consumer survey, there are lots of symptoms suffered by menopause women. There are probably 48 symptoms voiced by menopause women, and it is very important to respond to all of these symptoms respectively, but there are very few products that are able to do so. So as for the brand companies and the R&D centers, I would like to ask you to look into this market because it will definitely help you create new market. Now I will talk about brain health, focusing on stress, sleep, and concentration or focus. After the COVID-19 pandemic, there are people who are suffering from stress as well as sleep disorder, especially among the Asian population. And especially the Korean consumers, 51% say they feel more sensitive to stress, and 66% say that managing their stress is a top health priority, and 36 consumers are interested in sleep quality improvement. And the same trend is shown in China as well as other Southeast Asian countries. As of 2023, the market represents about 8 trillion Korean won, and China and Japan particularly take up the largest portion of the market. Going forward, they are projected to show high growth. Currently, if you look at the new product launch trends, as for the new products, together with probiotics, phosphatidylserine, and chamomile extracts and lemon balm extract-based products, all of these products are being launched in the market, and the products to address sleep disorder, relieve stress, and improve concentration, these are the areas where the new products are being continuously launched. So, It is very important to address the stress of the consumers. So there is the L. paracose strain that was derived, and if you consume this strain, it is known to improve your health, the mental health. Now, that was the presentation about the overall trends and consumer insights. And before I wrap up, I would like to briefly explain about my company. IFF may not be very familiar to most of you joining us here today, but in 2021, Nutrition and Bioscience Division of DuPont acquired IFF. And our Health and Science Division is very much focused on probiotics, natural extracts, as well as specialty ingredients and prebiotics as main categories. Among others, in the beginning of my presentation, I mentioned about the functional needs that need to be met of the consumers. For example, the GI health, the immune health, and mental health, as well as women's health. We need to develop that we have secured portfolio to meet the needs of our consumers, but not only in terms of ingredients, but we are very much focused on the reduced life cycle of products, meaning that the clients want to rapidly roll out their products, so we also have finished good solutions ready for our clients as well. There are lots of clients, or there are lots of people who are looking to go global, not only launch their products in the domestic market, but our company is very specialized in terms of the regulatory requirements of the world. So we have the expertise to provide consulting in these areas, but also in terms of concept creation, application support. And with the growing Chinese market, there are lots of clinical studies going on in that market, so we can support local clinical study. So we have the capability to provide all of these end-to-end solutions in a turnkey project. So when it comes to entering the local or the global market, if you're interested in collaborating with us, we are very much willing to provide you that support because we have lots of solutions in store for you. So we look forward to your continued support and interest so that we can thrive together as partners. Now, the QR code that you see up on the screen is something that you can access. So if you access these QR codes, you can have a look at our company, IFF, as well as Who Are You Probiotics. So please refer to these QR codes later on. And if you have any questions, you can also share your business cards to me after the conference so that we can get back to you with any inquiry you may have. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation.
Thank you very much. That was Han Jung, Regional Industry Head of North Asia for IFF Healthy and Biosciences. So she talked about intestine health and mental health and looked at various sectors. So thank you very much for your presentation. And now I would like to invite the second speaker to the stage. We are going to look at a counter plan of the legalization of their personalized supplement in Korea based on the business experience in operating the government pilot project. John Kim, Strategic Marketing Group Leader of COSMAXNBT, will deliver the presentation. Please welcome him with a big round of applause. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is John Kim. I am heading the Strategic Marketing Group at COSMAXNBT. So I would like to thank the Minister of Agriculture, Food, Rural Affairs, as well as the Korea Institute for Food Industry Cluster and President Kim Do-ko for organizing today's meaningful conference. Today I'm going to talk about COSMAXNBT. For the past 4 years, we have actually been involved in this pilot project for customized health supplements, small portion pilot project. And I'm going to talk about this topic during my presentation. We are preparing for legalization of the portioning business, so I will also mention that. So first, I'm going to briefly tell you about our company, COSMAXNBT, that was actually implementing this pilot project. COSMAXNBT is part of COSMAX Group, which is the #1 ODM cosmetics group of health and beauty. So we are specializing in ODM. And if you look at in terms of sales volume, we are #1 in the world and #4 in the world in terms of our sales of ODM. COSMAXNBT is not just an OEM. So we actually plan for products, we develop and produce products. And so if you don't even have a brand, but you have a health supplementary product and you want to create new business, we also provide OBM services. So for OBM services, from product to brand lineup, we provide a total solution. In this slide, you can see COSMAXNBT is operating in Korea, China, United States, and Australia. So we do have a global supply chain in place. Last year, for the first time in the industry, we actually recorded $60 million in exports. So not only do we operate in Korea, but we also operate abroad. Because we are a specialized company, we can produce various type of dosage forms, and the various dosage forms can be produced through our technology. So here you can see our technology called Atom. So while you have the same amount of functional ingredient, you can minimize the size of your dosage form. So having this dosage technology helps us to provide customized and personalized products. So here you can see EPP, and this is a production line that specializes in the production of probiotics. And EPP is actually a specialized technology that is unique to NBT. And recently, we actually were able to get various certificates. So inner beauty, women's sports, inner well-being. We have 7 different certificates for different type of ingredients. And using these ingredients, we are able to provide differentiated products and services to our customers. And that was a brief introduction about our company. And next, I would like to talk about the market status regarding health supplements. So why don't we look at the global market first? If you look at the global market and the U.S. market, personalized health supplements, you can see that it is increasing quite rapidly. In 2030, it will actually account for more than 12%. And global #1 U.S. market, the personalized health supplement market actually has surpassed 5 trillion won. In the North American market, the U.S. market is leading this industry, and here you can see some of the key brands. So online medical examination, microbiome analysis, DNA analysis. There are companies leading the market providing these various type of services. Here you can see the Korean market. In the Korean market, it is a huge market that accounts for 6,200 billion won. And customized market in terms of the actual size is smaller, but it is rapidly increasing. And for COSMAXNBT, for the past 4 years, we've seen annual growth of more than 387%. So this actually number number is from our personalized health supplement small portioning pilot project. So the personalized health supplement market is growing, and there are various factors driving this growth. I believe that one of the most important drivers is that people want customized health, and there's a lot of health devices that provide that, and they want to receive personalized guidelines in terms of promoting wellness and health. So they don't want to go here and there. They want to receive automatic recommendations in terms of health recommendation. And so personalized health supplement market is rapidly growing. In reality, if you look at when we asked consumers if they wanted to use personalized products, you can see that over 52.7% said yes, that they would want customized health supplements. For those that have tried health supplements, we asked them, would you like to try it again? And 87.9% of respondents said that they were willing to try the customized health supplement again. So once they're induced into the market, it is actually easy to create and maintain loyal customers. So with changing purchase behavior of consumers, we implemented the portioning pilot project based on 3 pillars. So we want to prevent overconsumption, redundant consumption, as well as misuse and abuse. So consumers will be able to more effectively and efficiently manage their health, and that was sort of the premise of how we were able to implement the pilot project. So they can choose a product that they need. They do not have to, they can prevent overconsumption and as well as redundant consumption, and they do not need to take any health supplements that they do not need. And as I mentioned before, the customized health supplements can be provided based on individual needs. There are various solutions that we can provide. So here is a survey about a person's personal health status, DNA, microbiomes, and as well as wearable devices and data regarding prescription and health. So the most viable solution for us was to have a professional consult the consumer. So having doctors, nutritionists consult consumers was the most effective solution. Consumers highly relied on the recommendation by these professionals, and we saw that this translated into purchase of the health supplements. In the overseas market, we have some examples. We heard it from the Nestlé presentation. Persona, it started as a startup, and then Nestlé acquired Persona, and now it is the global #1 customized health supplement brand. So they have a medical examination survey, but if someone wants DNA analysis or testing, this is optional. Consumers can opt for the DNA testing. So rather than me speaking, I thought that I would share with you a video about Persona and show you what it's all about.
At Persona Nutrition, we make custom vitamin packs for your unique needs. After you complete our questionnaire, our on-site nutritionists are here to answer any questions you have about your recommendations. Once approved, your order is processed in one of Persona's clean facilities located in Snoqualmie, Washington and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Our dispense managers start the process, sending your order to our packing machines. These machines fill individual packs with your daily supplements. As packs are dispensed, they are collected on spools and then sent to QA for inspection. While your order is being fulfilled, additional information is sent to the printing station, where your personalized supplement packs and invoice are printed. At the first QA station, our fulfillment associates match paperwork to your customer order. Once they confirm the order information, they begin visually inspecting for any errors. This is an important step. If your order passes inspection, it is placed on a conveyor belt and sent to its final check. Our team again verifies that your order and paperwork match. If everything exceeds our standards, your packs are placed in a box, sealed, and shipped directly to your door. Thanks for watching. Take the assessment today.
So here you just saw the video and you saw the portioning process, and COSMAXNBT, we actually have a GMP facility for portioning. It's quite similar to our facility. And then I'm going to show you a case study from Japan. This is a Fanco from Japan. They usually target people in their mid-age, 50s and 60s. And of course, you have to do medical examination, and then you can also have urine testing if you want. But if you want to receive the service, then you get consultation, and every 3 to 4 months, they check your health status, and so they check to see whether you are properly receiving their subscription service. And the third overseas case is a British brand called Vitamin Buddy. And I'm not sure if you've noticed it, but there is an online quiz survey, and it's actually very short compared to other companies. They only have 15 questions, so it's actually easier for the consumers to complete the survey because it's so simple. And then nutritionists and pharmacists, they actually consult the consumer, and they receive recommendations about which health supplements they should take. And next, I'm going to talk about optimize health supplements, and I'm going to talk about the experiences of COSMAXNBT and also the process for legalizing portioning. So personalized health supplements, I think we need to more clearly define this. So here you can see the general definition and how it's going to change in the future. So it's about getting recommendation for a finished product, and you're purchasing the finished product, but we're moving away from that. So basically you get consultations from professionals, and you get portioned out or small package health supplements that are customized to your health status. And the reason why we've been able to adopt this into the market is because people want to check their own health, and on an average, the Korean consumers actually consume a lot of health supplements. The average number is 4.3, so a lot of consumers wanted to consume only what they needed. And then on various sales channels, they only sell in bulks, and so people would throw away because the health supplement would have passed the expiry date. And so when we take into consideration all of these different factors, we need to adopt the customized health supplement market in Korea. So multi-pack product and customized small packaging product might be confusing for you. So for multi-pack products, the manufacturer or the seller tries to identify the needs of consumers, and they preemptively create a combination of health supplements, and they have different combinations, and so basically they combine the existing products and you just choose the combination. But customized products is about consuming the health supplements that you need depending on your health condition, and so it recommends only the health supplements that you need. So there is a difference between multi-pack products and customized small package products. So for these small package products, the legislation will be enacted in January of 2025. So currently it is illegal to sell this. We have a pilot project that we carried out. So FDA provided us a guideline, and so you can see some of the guidelines or conditions, and one of those was that consultations was mandatory, and it had to be online or face-to-face. And the online consultation, you had to have records of the video of consumers talking to these professionals. So it's actually having this video recording of the consultations was a hurdle, because a lot of consumers said, I don't want to be filmed, I don't want to be part of the video. I don't want to leave a record. But FDA and the Ministry of Industry actively implemented this pilot project. And so COSMAXNBT and many companies felt that this customized health supplement portioning project was key to the future. And so in 2020, 7 companies first participated in this pilot project. And up until now, we have 52 companies that have taken part in this pilot project, and there are over 2,000 outlets who have also participated. COSMAXNBT has been taking part in the pilot project, and we've accumulated various experiences. In the initial stages, for preparing for this pilot project, we built various systems. The first was an algorithm that recommended health supplements. So we didn't have experience, so we benchmarked overseas case studies about algorithms, and we didn't have a lot of professionals who actually had experience in developing this algorithm, and so it took us 6 months to develop the algorithm. And then we built an internal IT system so that we could integrate order, portioning, and delivery. And we work with partner companies. And then in the last stage, COSMAXNBT in Icheon, we have a GMP facility. And so for the first time in Korea, we built a portioning packaging fulfillment center. And the process seems very complicated, but COSMAXNBT partner companies here, you can see, follow this very simple process, and they are able to implement the business. So the consumer actually goes through consultation, and if the data is in the MBT database within that day, then they are able to receive the portioned out health supplements the very next day. So here you can see the initial business setup, and after 2-3 years, COSMAXNBT pharmacies or these distribution brands and hospitals, we have various distribution partners who are joining us in this portioning business, and we were able to see the potential of individualized health supplement portioning business. So in the hospitals, it was very helpful when we had a permanent professionals consulting consumers for distribution brand. If they were able to sell the portioned package and the bulk single package, it actually helped this distribution brand in terms of sales. And people have great faith in the doctors. So if the doctors make recommendations, consumers just follow the instructions of the doctors. And so it was easy for us or the hospitals to get the consumers to buy the product. After the 4th year, we did face some difficulties, and I believe that these difficulties translated into our know-how. So if you would like to join us in this project or business, I'm sure that you will be able to actually not go through all of the mistakes that we went through, and you could learn from our trial and error. Consumers have very high satisfaction in terms of buying these portioned packages, but the awareness about these type of products is very low. So it's very hard to attract new consumers to buy these small portioned packages. And we also, as a mandatory guideline, we had to have an online video consultation. So for the elderly people, they felt that this was very difficult to do, and so they would give up. And there was some delay in legislation. So when we first began this pilot project, we thought that we would see the legal foundation in 2023. But there were many companies that joined us in the initial stages, actually gave up halfway and gave up receiving a license to sell sell these small packages with portioned out health supplements. So I said we went through a lot of experiences, and if you look at the packaging, it's quite vulnerable to high moisture levels and also high temperature. So we needed to have additional measures for storage and distribution. So for business partners, they had to get a return on investment. So the packaging needed to be more diversified. We needed to have a more flexible approach to MOQ. And many partners, we needed to have common products, common items that different partners could share. So COSMAXNBT, for the first time, we are actually have been able to export these personalized goods to overseas countries. And we have been working with overseas partners. So we are realizing product and packaging optimization and setting up distribution channels. So for the first time, we were also able to see that we could tap into overseas markets and sell our products. So for the past 4 years, with overseas partners, we were able to accumulate a lot of experience and know-hows. And for those partners who want to join us, I would like to say NBT provides consultation, development. We provide one-stop service. We cover all of these different stages here on the slide. The business model could be turnkey model. You might say, we want to do portioning, so provide us with only the bulk product. This sort of business model is also possible with us. So next January, they are saying that the legal sort of foundation will be put in place, and you'll be curious to know what is changing. So there will be separate reporting if you want to sell this customized health supplements. And there are 6 groups of occupations that will be professionals that provide consultations. And also online consultation is provided, chatting is provided. You can talk to the consumers or patients on phone. You do not need to have a video recording of your consultation anymore. So while we provide customized products, we had a hard time attracting new consumers with this video recording criteria. But next year, the customized health supplement market, I believe, will grow. So if you want to take part in the portioning part of the business, but you don't want to do manufacturing, then our company can actually can do this for you. So you can outsource those activities to a manufacturer like our company. And I think there are 2 keywords in terms of customized health supplement portioning business. So if you look at customized health supplements, I think that they will complement medications. So depending on what sort of medication you take through doctors and nutritionist recommendations, you will be able to take supplements. And in the future, this customized health services will become more important. And next has to do with the development of personalized service. Of course, consumers want to know their health information, and they want to get products that meet their health needs in order to feel high levels of satisfaction. If we can satisfy the consumers, I'm sure that we can get them to repurchase our products. So thank you very much. That was, I think the moderator also mentioned this. But with regard to our business, If you want to work with COSMAXNBT, or if you have any questions, you can see my contacts here on the slide. So please feel free to contact me. So thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you very much. That was Jung Kim, Strategic Marketing Group Leader of COSMAXNBT. So he talked about personalized supplement solution, talked about being based on science and all the R&D activities that they've been doing. So now we are going to move on to session 2.
Second session is on the theme of innovative technologies for a better environment, and the second session is designed to provide an opportunity to hear about the current status of corporate technology development for the environment.
Will deliver us the presentation on Kuraray's solution for sustainable packaging. So please welcome him with a warm round of applause. 여러분 따뜻한 박수로 환영해 주시기 바랍니다.
Please welcome Mr. Takashi.
Good morning. 안녕하세요. 일본에서 온 나카무라라고 합니다.
I am Nakamura from Japan. Thank you.
So I have a long history with Korean barrier packaging market. However, I cannot speak Korean language so very well, despite my face looks like Korean. So many times when I visit to new customer, I was talk to Korean actually. Anyway, today I will make a presentation about Kuraray's solution to sustainable package. This is my career history summary. So I have a very long career in EVA resin product from 2008. And now I'm manager of EVA resin sales department and supervise Korean and Japanese market. Let me introduce Kuraray company overview briefly. Kuraray was established in 1926, so now we have almost a 100-year history. We have over 10,000 employees in more than 30 countries. I also would like to emphasize that Kuraray has a lot of world #1 share products, around 60%. EVAL is one of them and already used a lot in Korea. This slide shows our products and how we approach to the sustainable issues. We have many products that contribute sustainability, EVA plastic, that is a biodegradable barrier material, and carpet. With them, we believe we can approach all the issue of ours. In the right side, recycle, resource, reduce, and redesign. Today, I will make a presentation mainly about EVA recyclable package. But if you are interested in other products and other parts, could you please contact us after the presentation? Next, first of all, I will talk about the brief introduction of EVA resin itself and its business overview. EVAL is a copolymer of ethylene and vinyl alcohol. EVAL has hydroxy group, and each hydroxy group bonding, and it improves gas barrier property. EVAL has high gas barrier property and used in many food packages to block oxygen to extend shelf life. Just 1 millimeter thickness of EVAL has same oxygen barrier as 10 meters of LDPE. And also, EVAL has ethylene polymer unit, and it is also recyclable in polyolefin package stream. So here is the summary of EVAL growth history. We start EVAL business in 1964. Now we are 6 years old. So it has growth together with social needs. Firstly, extending shelf life. It means change non-barrier package to barrier package. It's widely spread with transportation network growth and also supermarket stores growth. Next, better logistics, lightweight. We replace glass jar of seasoning such as mayonnaise and ketchup to EVA multi-layer bottles. We also replaced metal can and glass bottles, as you can see in the middle of this slide. And now, sustainable package, we replace many kind of aluminum foil to mono-material package. For example, toothpaste, tube, and snacks. So in addition, of course, EVA is widely used in meat package film and cooked rice tray in Korea, like Heppan. This is a map to show EVA production site in the world. Currently, we have 3 plants in the world, US Houston, and Belgium Antwerp, and Japan Okayama. EVA resin has over 100,000 metric tons per year. However, Okayama factory is not big, and we import from US and Belgium to the Asian countries. Global balance territory by territory is not good at this moment. So then now we are going to have a new plant in Singapore and increase the capacity by 28,000 metric tons per year by 2026. The reason of this capacity increase is catch up sustainability demand, especially in Asia. Next, I will talk about the sustainable package of EVA. This is a summary of global recycling guidelines. For example, in Europe, Cflex and Recyclers is relatively well known. Right side of the table will show some comparison of barrier materials for recycling status with polyolefin. Many guidelines said that EVA is compatible with polyolefin, such as polyethylene or polypropylene. EVA has a good compatibility with polyolefin because it can be contained about under 5% with weight percent. Here. On the other hand, other barrier material like PET, nylon, PVDC, and aluminum need test case by case or not compatible in these guidelines. One more recent big news is PPWR regulation in Europe. With this regulation, all of the package material will have to be 100% recyclable by 2030. So we expect the EVA increase its importance in the barrier material market. This is a summary of EPR policy in Asia countries. Korea, India, Vietnam, Philippines, and Thailand. So many countries started to think about or start or some regulation. So you can see a lot of countries in Asia proceed recyclable package regulation. So I don't explain this regulation detail today, but I mean, so it shows it is not only Europe and America's problem. Sustainability is very important. And this slide is Korean CFC target. So you may know this is CO2 emission reduction target set by the government in South Korea. According to the press release, it says Korean government targets 40% reduction of CO2 by 2030 from 2080 emission. EVA barrier package also can contribute to this CO2 reduction target. I will introduce some calculation result later. This is recycling packaging proposal for sustainable package from us. I will talk about 3 proposals today. First, aluminum laminated tube we call ABL replacement. It is replacement of body part of laminate tube. We replace inner barrier layer aluminum to EVAL. Second, VMPET and aluminum foil packaging replacement. It is ultra high barrier package. For this application, we recommend metallized EVOH multilayer film. First, making multilayer film, and after that, vacuum metallizing on EVOH layer. Third, PVDC replacement. Actually, we have 4 targets on this slide, but so I will make presentation detail of these 3 parts. Okay, first is aluminum foil replacement. This is a packaging structure overview of current ABL. This is a packaging structure overview of current ABL and EVOH PBL. Our basic concept is to replace aluminum foil in barrier layer with EVAL resin. Of course, aluminum has a very good barrier property, but if you compare the 2 structures as a tube, there is not much difference. In the middle, we show OTR numbers. 0.023 cc by tube and 0.25 cc by tube. You can see EVAL structure is almost same as ABL. Because laminate tube has HDPE monolayer shoulder part. Then some amount of O2, oxygen, enters through shoulder parts, and the result OTR is almost same. Also, it is important that many European brand owners already apply EVAL PBL, so it is already usable. Next, I will explain about CO2 reduction, CFP calculation. We compare 2 structures here. One is ABL, PE 100 micron, aluminum foil 15 micron, PE 100 micron structure. The other one is EVOH PBL, PE, EVAL, multilayer film, and PE. So we use Picket system packaging impact quick evaluation tool, and then this is a result. So in conclusion, EVOH PBL can reduce a lot of CO2. As a standard, we put CO2 emission of ABL structure as 100. First, the virgin EVOH PBL can reduce around 40% of CO2. Because a lot of CO2 is produced in aluminum production. Then, and the U can replace L to EVAL, then many CO2 emission is reduced. In addition, it is very important things. EVOH PBL is recyclable, so it can reduce additional 70% of CO2. So totally, EVOH PBL CO2 emission is about half of PBL. Then we think that EVAL PBL can contribute to Korean government target. Okay, next I will talk about aluminum and VMPET replacement, ultra high barrier replacement. This is a structure proposal with EVAL. The basic concept is metallized on EVAL layer. First, first, our customer make multi-layer film by co-extrusion, PP tie layer EVAL. After that, they put very, very thin aluminum vaporized layer on EVOH layer. Its thickness is angstrom order, then it is not influenced to recyclability. And after making multi-layer VM EVAL polyolefin film, after that, dry laminate with other layer. For printing layer, they use BOPP and polyolefin sealant layer. And then it can have higher barrier property, very, very high gas barrier. We propose this ultra-high barrier film to replace aluminum, mainly pouch packages. This is a comparison table of each structure. Metallized EVOH is green part. You can see metallized EVOH structure has very close barrier property to aluminum foil structure. Not only OTR, but also WBTR is very high. Of course, regarding barrier, EVOH structure is much better than VMPET. And also, only our proposal structure is compatible for monolayer polyolefin. This is a storage test result. We tested EVOH structure with powder milk. First, we test OTR. In conclusion, there is no significant difference between aluminum foil and metallized EVOH, and the point of 150 storage days. This is WBTR comparison. As you can see, metallized EVOH has almost same WBTR property as aluminum foil, at the point of 150 storage days, as same as OTR. And we also calculate CO2 emission in each package. We compared aluminum foil, VMPET, and metallized EVOH structures packages. As same as ABL replacement, we use picket system. And the next slide is the result. Same as ABL, EVOH structure can reduce the CO2 emission. As a virgin package, EVOH and PET have almost same emission, but EVOH package can be recycled, so EVOH is better. However, in addition, it is very important things again. So EVAL structure is recyclable, so it can reduce additional 11% of CO2. So totally vacuum metallized EVOH structure CO2 emission is about half other structure. In short, metallized EVOH emission is around 40% of aluminum foil package. Okay, lastly, we explain about PVDC replacement for mainly low meat products. So you may have an image that PVDC is used a lot in low meat packaging film, and EVAL is not so. However, according to our in-house research, EVAL is already used in many low meat package market in the world. Regarding beef, regardless beef or pork, wholesale or retail, and bone-in or less. In this graph, A means that the market share of EVOH have high. Actually, US, Asia, and Europe, we have more or less share about low meat package, especially relatively high share in bone-in market. So I want to emphasize again that eVoyage can be usable in not only pork, but also beef package in Korea as well. This slide is comparison with PVDC structure with our special grade eVoyage, SC grade. Kuraray has a special SC grade to replace PVDC, which has good barrier property and sustainability, and also shrinkability. So could you please contact us if you are interested in this special grade? Again, the most important thing is eVoyage structure is recyclable. PVDC has good barrier property, we know, but eVoyage packaging also has its good barrier property and also recyclable. It is very important things for us. This is a stress test of 75 days sample picture. Left side is PVDC and right side is eVoyage, eval. You can see eval SC grade almost has same storage property in case of beef. Okay, this is a conclusion. First, eval is very good material for polyolefin recycle stream. Second, using eval can reduce CO2 emission, which can contribute to the Korean government reduction target. Therefore, regarding barrier material, eval is the best solution to sustainable barrier packaging. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing your detailed presentation. You may return your seat again. 네, 감사드립니다.
Thank you very much for your presentation. So that was a talk about what kind of solutions are being prepared at Kuraray's solution to sustainability packaging.
Crucial role in the food industry. So it was very impressive to see how technology for developing sustainable packaging continue to advance. 감사합니다. 이제 본 두 번째 세션의 이제 마지막 강연.
So this is going to be the last presentation for session 2. Today we would like to invite Mr. David Kim, the CTO of Intake. He will deliver a presentation on food tech for a sustainable future. Please welcome him with a big round of applause. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am David Kim. I was just introduced. It's late in the afternoon, and I was sitting here at the conference, and I was getting a little bit tired, so I'm going to try my best job to deliver a good presentation. So I would also like to say hello to our online participants. I am from Intake. Our company was established in 2013, so it's been a little bit over 10 years. We are a food tech startup. As I was listening to the previous speakers, their companies had history of 50, 100 years, 150 years. So I was amazed, and I thought that I would work hard to make sure that our company also can have a very long history. So I'm going to talk about food tech, sustainability, environment-friendly technologies, and how we've applied this to the food industry. So first of all, we have a lot of different products. In 2013, we created this product called Dr. Nuts. So that was the beginning point. And then since then, we've had Morning Porridge, Meals, Sugar Roll, Vital Water, and Innocent. So these are the products in our product portfolio. And when we were developing these products, I studied food engineering. And we say food tech in English. But a lot of my seniors, they were working in food engineering industry. And of course, when we were in college, they're still eating what we're eating in the 1980s. We're still eating 신라면 and 새우깡. All of those products that were developed in the 70s and 80s, we're still eating it. So I thought that we need a new product, something novel. And so if you look at nuts, this was a new product that we introduced into the market. And then if you look at morning porridge, it was a porridge you could eat in the morning. And then meals is a substitute food. So it's completely nutritional. It can replace a meal. And then from 2019, we looked at alternative sugar beverages. And then in 2019, we also looked at alternative meats. So for alternative foods, this is going to be the topic of my presentation. And so when we think about being environment friendly, we think about alternative foods, and I'm sure some of you might know, but some of you not be familiar. So if I can explain, so there's a lot of issues regarding food resources, animal welfare, climate change, environmental issues, and so all of this has led to more interest on alternative foods. And so here you can see the alternative food. So we have alternative eggs, alternative meat, as well as food-based products and microbial food-based products. So in order to define this definition of food tech, we have to think about it. So recently we've seen a lot of talk about food tech. So we have to think what is food tech, and many people have not given us the definition of food tech. So I try to define food tech, what it means. So you should have tech here, but tech is not here, but that's a mistake. So you need food plus tech, and we'll see how this is divided. So there are external variables that has changed, and so for food, there's been a lot of change in terms of external factors. We see increase in population. There's climate change. Of course, in Korea, the population is declining, but they're saying that the global population will go to 10 billion in 2050. If you look at the food supply chain, there are disruptions. Of course, there's the Ukraine war, and then during the COVID-19, we saw disruption in the food supply chains. So if you look at on the left-hand side, there are external environmental changes regarding food, and then the right-hand side looks at tech. So there is AI technology, there is automation, digitalization, hyperconnectivity, and the development of biotechnology has actually led to help us to use new technology to address these new problems in food industry. So there are new problems that are being created, and then on the right-hand side, using food tech, we can actually address these challenges using new solutions. And here you have food, and then you have tech. So I'm missing tech here on this slide. And so from this perspective, we have to think about what we are going to focus on. So plant-based alternative foods, microbiome-based foods, and alternative sugar-based foods are the three type of foods that we focused on. So we're also going to look at alternative meat today and food-based products. Of course, you already know all of this. So this is a newspaper article from March. So up until March, the global temperature compared to pre-industrial level was higher for 10 months straight. So basically what this means is that compared to pre-industrial levels, the average temperature, the monthly average temperature, when measured, the surface temperature was the highest for 10 months. And so we had 10 hottest months. And now if we actually surpass 12 months, it means that we continue to break the records that we have set before. So on the right-hand side, you can see the newspaper article, and there were many different issues regarding climate change. So in 2023, in this academic journal, it said that it's so confusing, it's hard to predict the future. There's going to be a climate crisis. And for 10 months consecutively, we continue to break the record in terms of temperature, but in July, we were able to actually stop this rise in temperature. So 10 months, and then to the second 12-month and 13-month, we continue to see high temperatures, but we actually had 2 days where it was the hottest in our history. So you can see 2006, 2009, and you can see the dates here. And so those days are the hottest days in our history. And I thought that this was a crisis, but a few days later, on I think it was July 25th, once again, the temperature rises by 0.15 degrees. And so we actually break our own record of the hottest day. And here you can see the UN Secretary General, and he's talking about how we need turbo change, we need new changes. So we understand that climate change is a very urgent problem. There's a lot of different activities regarding net zero and how are we going to curb temperature rise of 1.5 degrees. But here you can see in 2030 it's going to increase more than 1.5 degrees, and we are going to see temperatures rise rapidly and actually exceed the 2-degree mark. And so from this perspective, I think EVs received a lot of attention. Internal combustion engines actually produce a lot of greenhouse gas emissions, and so EVs were seen as an alternative option for reducing greenhouse gas emissions. And so alternative protein and microbial-based products, plant-based products also received a lot of attention for the same reasons. So some of you might know and some of you might not know, but one of the things that really impressed me was that when we talk about vehicles as well as public transportation and all of the greenhouse gas emitted, actually there is more greenhouse gas emissions from the livestock industry. Of course, not only CO2, but methane. There's a lot of harmful gases being emitted from the livestock industry. And not only that, there's a lot of food waste that is being generated through the food industry that impacts the greenhouse gas emissions. And so initially, we looked at creating alternative meat. So in 2019, we began our journey, and in 2019, we thought about what should we make. There is no such products in the market, so what sort of product are we going to create, and what sort of products would be popular with consumers? We actually benchmarked foreign markets. In IKEA, they had meatballs. So if you go to IKEA, I'm sure that many of you have tried the meatballs there. I don't know if Korea IKEA serves meatballs, but the meatballs are very popular. And these are plant-based meatballs, and there's a lot of sales of these plant-based meatballs. So we created a vegetable ball using plant-based ingredients. In 2019, we got a lot of feedback from consumers, and what we found was there was a lot of word called falafel. And so this was a food item that was from the Middle East. It's like a korokke, and it's from the Middle East. It's made using soybean, and so chickpea beans, and so it tastes like pork cutlet. So it tastes like a pork cutlet, and it was, I thought, a great product to replace meat, and we created a product, and we created the first HMR product for falafel, and we promoted it. People shared with us how they were enjoying it. And so we thought that this is possible. So within 5 to 6 months, we actually launched various products. You have chicken nuggets. Here you have vegetable curry. You have tonkatsu. You have beef patty. And we also have chicken and various products that were launched. So we launched about 20 products very quickly. And we have online marketing, and that is our main marketing. So we had pop-up stores, we had a blog, we had consumer feedback. So in the blog, we created contents and we uploaded those contents. And so you can see that we have consumer focus groups and there was various activities. And we were able to see consumers react. So if you look at on the top, you have innocent vegan cutlet. This is amazing. So our products were very tasty, and we thought that it was really a great product. It was delicious, and so we launched various products. We sold a lot of our products, but the success in the market didn't meet our expectations. We really thought our products tasted good, but they weren't selling as much as we wanted to. So we thought about this issue. We felt that there were issues or challenges we needed to overcome. And when we make other products, we thought about what we do. So for our existing products, when we develop these products, we actually go through a list of questions. They're very naive questions. Do we really have to eat this? Is there a need to eat this? Who, when, where, how do they eat this? Is there a problem? Why do we have to do this? So these are some of the questions that we go through when we develop a product. But when we are creating a plant-based meat, I think we focus too much on creating that product itself. Rather than asking these questions, we are more focused on creating the product itself. And so we thought very hard and looked back on our activities. For the next generation, if they do eat plant-based products, I think we have to clearly show them, why they have to eat these plant-based products. If the product was on the shelf, people would choose that product. But these days, you actually have to compete with all these other products. So people, if they really need to eat the product, even if it is expensive, they will buy it. But if there's something that they don't need, even if it is cheap, they will not buy it. So when we go to various trade fairs and events, when people eat plant-based products, the first reaction we get is, oh, it's okay, it's really not bad. I think I would pay money to buy it. But in the online, when we think about the products we buy, there has been a change. When we buy a product online, you don't buy a product you think, oh, it's not bad. You only buy products that you really want to buy. I'm doing that. And I think if you go to online websites, the top 3 products that are selling are very popular, but the 4th, 5th most selling products, the actual quantity of products that are sold are not that great. So the product has to become a product that people must buy. And so that is something that we focused on. So if you look at maybe Nestlé or EU market, there's a lot of people with purchasing power, and there's already a lot of people who like vegan products. But in Korea, we already have tofu and a lot of products. So people actually don't know why they have to eat vegan or vegetable or plant-based meat. So here you can see the approach that we took. So ultimately, you have to look at demand momentum and then supply consistency and external factors. So all of this has to come together to grow your product, and not just alternative meat, but for all types of alternative food and new technology. I believe this is valid. So if you look at the alternative meat, you have a trigger, then you go to the pig, and then you have that slope, and then we're in the bottom, disillusionment. And so do you go up or not? That is something that we do not know. So you need to have a driving engine, driving force to get you out of that valley. And so it has to be environment friendly. So plant-based products or alternative meat, in order to be accepted in the market, I think it has to be environment friendly. protein. So we thought about how we are going to solve this problem, and so we here prepared various case studies. So if we can't actually persuade people with the taste, maybe we should persuade people with function. So it will be plant-based protein, and we'll sell it at the same price as animal protein. So when everything is equal, plant protein, for animal protein, there are limitations, but compare to the animal protein, for the plant-based protein product, you can actually increase the amount of protein that you include in your product. So we created this chicken breast cube. So there was various strategies that we employed, and we were able to push it out into the market, but it didn't really sell a lot, because we did impact the market, but one thing that we thought was when it's a plant-based protein chicken breast square, people ask us, is this a chicken breast or is this plant-based? So it confused consumers. And there was a lot of education cost in teaching the consumers about what the product was. So we actually fine-tuned our product, and we try to communicate with the consumer. And then here in COEX, if you go, there is a restaurant operated by Shinsegae. It's called You Are What You Eat, and they sell plant-based meals. When you say plant-based meals, they don't actually explicitly highlight this. So it's just a casual family restaurant, and they sell various types of food. And you can see there's beautiful cutlery and dishes. So you have truffle jjajangmyeon, and there are all these very delicious products, but they're using plant-based ingredients. And so they use the restaurant to provide plant-based ingredients. So this actually can appeal to consumers as a restaurant you want to visit. So I think Shinsegae was very smart in promoting plant-based ingredients. So this we felt could be a solution to our problems. So this is from the United States, and in the U.S. there have restaurants that sell various products. So you can see it's a bowl-type product. And another interesting item was the Impossible food. So if you look at the commercial, so it's a hamburger and an Impossible hamburger, and they're talking to each other. And so it says, "Are you a plant?" And then the Impossible Burger says, "I am a plant." So you're not a meat. So I am a meat. So you're a plant, but you're a meat? Yes, I am. So you don't taste like meat? No, I really taste like meat. So they have this little chit chat, and then in the end it says, "I don't understand what you're talking about," and then I don't have any of the carbon impact or cholesterol that you have, and then that's the end of the sort of chit-chat. So they are introducing that this is a new plant-based meat. So whether it's sheep, cow, pig, so they're just approaching it as plant-based meat. So if you look at Impossible Foods in the past, you could actually see they use green, so it's a very strong contrast with the red. But now they've actually created a product that people want to buy and eat. And what was interesting is, or insight that we were able to get is these two. So if you look at the left-hand side, that's Beef Light product, and on the right, it's called Emergent Burger. And it's the same beef, but actually it has less than 75% saturated fat. On the right hand, it says it's juicy, thick, and it's really delicious meat-like product. So here you can see the total saturated fat is you actually take 85% of the daily consumption. So I thought, is that possible to sell that type of product? But I think that it actually provided a point to the consumer about why they should eat this product. And I don't have a lot of time, but I am speeding through my presentation. But so this is a German company, and it's called Müller. The pronunciation is a bit hard, but I think they are going through M&A. And so we don't know what's going to happen to this company, but the concept itself is that it's a plant-based meat. So they actually weren't focusing on plant-based meat. So they're the second largest meat processing company in Germany. They're using the same logo, and now they change it to green, and they are providing a vegan product with added nutrients for children. So this helped them to increase the product of their sales in the German market. So the existing meat processing companies are also selling plant-based meat, and so I think that collaboration with them could help us to make inroads into the market as well. So here it's kind of a cliche example, but this is Tesla. So I was talking about EV. When we think about Tesla, there's a lot of things we can think about. So we thought about environment-friendly, energy-saving aspects of an EV. So EV had a very good image, but for Tesla, their EVs, it's very desirable. So it's a very wonderful EV. So it has all of the characteristics of an EV, but they were able to let consumers sort of rediscover the beauty of owning an EV. So I think for plant-based products, it has to be different from the existing products. It's not just a good product. It's a product you want to buy. It's a product you want to eat. So there are a lot of hurdles that we have to overcome. So in order to compete in the global market, there are a lot of technical aspects that we have to look at. And we also have to find reasons for people to buy our products. And in order to change the awareness of consumers or perception of consumers, there are different sort of categories and products that we have to look at. So here we actually study the real chicken, the real meat, and every day we are frying chicken, and we are thinking about how do we create a delicious chicken using our plant-based ingredients. And ultimately, we want to create and provide chicken that is provided at restaurants. So it's not just, oh, it's good enough. It's something that you really want to eat. That is our goal. And so here you can see tech is missing here. But currently, we are focusing on solving the problem and how to attract consumers. But I think in the future, food tech needs to provide new values. So we're not just trying to create meat. We want to think about, what sort of values consumers can derive from the meat that we create. So I hope this type of food tech becomes commercialized and promoted. So thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. That was Mr. David Kim, CTO of Intake. And so he talked about domestic food industry and also the technological development of alternative foods. We look forward to more technology being developed. And as you mentioned, we hope that food tech is not just about solving problems, but also provides new values to consumers. And I hope that it will become the key driver of innovation. So the 14th Foodpolis International Conference is being attended by many people, and we are covering key issues. So we look at personalized supplement. We looked at the various case studies from Korean companies, and we also looked at the efforts that various companies and institutions are making to promote environment-friendly technologies and products. So currently, there are many people joining us here at the venue. So
투웨이로 함께 인터랙션 할 수 있는 저희
We are now going to have a panel discussion where we can have an interaction between the audience as well as the presenters. Once we set the stage, we would like to invite our prominent speakers to join us on the stage.
With the panel discussion, inviting us our esteemed speaker, home and abroad all together. So now we are on panel setting on that stage. 네, 우리 연사분들께서 함께 또 우리
Yes, so together with the speakers, the audience, participants will interact. And as for our participants, we provide simultaneous interpretation in Korean and in English. So please feel free to ask in any language of your choice. We'll make sure that your communication is facilitated. So channel 1 is Korean and channel 2 is English on your receivers. If you ask questions, please raise your hand. We will hand you over the microphone and please state your name and affiliation before asking the question. Thank you very much. So I believe that the stage is set.
Panel seating is ready on the stage now. So I'd like to invite our session speakers onto the stage together. Would you please come forward? 네, 우리 연사분들 함께 다시 한번
Yes,
자리로
so I would
모시겠습니다.
like to invite up on stage our
해주시기
speakers.
바랍니다.
Please welcome them with a big hand.
All right, please welcome Thomas Caso once again. Today's keynote speaker, thank you. And Jung Han. And also Nakamura, Takashi, and Kim Jong-hoon. Thank you for coming, everyone. Welcome again. 네, 오늘 제14회 국가식품클러스터 국제컨퍼런스
So we will now move on to the last session of today's 14th Foodpolis International Conference, joined by the speakers of the conference today. So we would like to first ask questions one by one to the speakers, the questions that were received in
Now
advance.
let's begin our panel discussion. To start off, I will ask each speaker a question, and then we will open the floor later on. So, all right. Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome. And actually, I usually enjoy a cup of Dolce Gusto coffee with Kit Kat.
Excellent.
Yeah, great combination. So it's my great pleasure to meet you in person.
Thank you. Might as well.
All right. Our first question is for you. As a CEO of the world's largest food company, could you share your thoughts and comments on what innovation means from the perspective of the leading food company?
Sure. For a food company like Nestlé, who, as you said, is quite innovation is everything. It's how we determine what our future looks like. It's how we stay relevant with consumers. It's how we live out our purpose with respect to environmental concerns that we take very, very seriously. It's how we do everything. And sometimes our challenge, to be frank, internally is how to focus. As I mentioned, we have over 4,100 development employees across our very large company. And what we're starting to get better and better at, frankly, is selecting. So we know greenhouse gas reduction, we have a net zero target, that is a focus area, and we research very deeply there. We know regenerative agriculture is a core fundamental responsibility because of the value chains we touch. We focus there, we research deeply, and we innovate as much as we can there. Innovation is also and always, of course, on the brand side of things, whether it's brand extensions, the packaging elements that we know we need to continue to evolve in as we move more towards recyclability and reuse as well. So it's focus, we are at scale, and it's integral to how we do our business.
All right, thank you very much for your detailed and kind comment and answer. As you mentioned, then innovation is actually everything for the future and next generation for sustainability. 네, 감사합니다. 우리 혁신에 대해서 고견을 주셨고요. 두 번째
So thank you very
질문은
much
우리
for sharing your
한민정
insight on
선생님께
innovation.
여쭤보도록 하겠습니다.
Next question is for Ms. Han. Thank you very much for your insightful presentation. So, as you said, probiotics products in the Asian market has been increasing in terms of demand. So, what product characteristics do consumers consider as most important?
프로바이오틱스
The most important characteristic of probiotics products is the GI health, as well as the immune functionality and efficacy, how all of these advantages can be felt by the consumers after their intake. And we want to make sure that these benefits are sustained so that can be translated into repurchase of these products. So Asian market is very much focused on the safety as well as efficacy of these products, and that is why there is a huge demand for probiotics in Asia. Yes, I can see and hear from your answer that as a consumer myself, I think that I'll be very much focused on all of these characteristics that will help me to rebuy the product in the future. Now moving on to the third question, that is for Mr. Nakamura. First of all, I would like to say it in Korean and then in English. So you mentioned about EVAL or EVAL packaging. So when EVAL packaging becomes more widespread, what activities does Kuraray plan to undertake to enhance consumer awareness of recycling?
Becomes more widespread in the global market. How does Kuraray plans to raise consumers' awareness about recycling? Would you please? Yep. You can just speak. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, it is a very difficult question for us because actually we are producing for not consumer product. So it is not easy to directly contact with the consumer. So we made a plastic resin, and our customer is make a package, and at last food manufacturer make a food product, and then consumer buy the product. So it is not easy to education or something like lead to the consumer directly. But anyway, so basically our company policy is for people and for the world. We must do what other company cannot do. Is our company policy. So EVAL, it is our product name, and the plastic name is EVOH, ethylene vinyl alcohol, and EVOH only 3 companies can produce in the world. So then, and also Kuraray is a leading company of EVOH. So then we have to more and more explain what is EVOH, and EVOH can contribute the sustainable package like today. And it's not good comment, but to educate the packaging company itself themselves, and also. Then first step, I have to explain more and more food and packaging relating company. And next step, maybe food manufacturer start to educate the people for the package material is very important to the sustainable social sustainability. And at that time, we can support to the food manufacturer, I think.
Thank you very much for your great answer. For me personally, it was the very first chance to learn how technology, especially the EVAL sustainable packaging system, going on the field for consumers. So I'd like to express my gratitude for letting me know and letting us know about that detailed technology. 네, 감사합니다. 감사합니다. 네, 마지막 질문입니다. 우리
So the last question goes to Mr. Kim. He delivered the last presentation. It was quite impressive. At Intake, you are creating alternative eggs and products using alternative eggs. And consumers, if they did not know it was an alternative egg, would they think that it's the real deal? It's the real egg? In terms of the texture and the flavor, is it similar to a real egg? What's the possibility of that?
네, 좋은
So thank you very much for that great question. So we talked about alternative meat, but I think we have similar issues. So in terms of texture, color, and flavor, we can create something very similar. But then the next step would be if we want to make sure that it's not just similar, but we want people to actually want to eat the alternative eggs. So it's not meaningful to create a product that is exactly the same as an egg. Then you should just eat an egg. Avian influenza, or unless there is some sort of issues, suddenly there's not going to be a huge demand for our product. So whether it's boiled eggs or whether it's fried eggs, we want to look at the functions of egg and how to actually create and put this in a material. So we actually have a technology. So in the bread, you create eggs, and when you try to whip the cream, there's a lot of things that you need. And so we're actually trying to create properties in an alternative egg that makes it easier to create whipped eggs or whipped cream. So we want to, when you actually use eggs to create whipped cream, a lot of companies, they actually are impacted by people handling the product, but we can actually avoid that. And when you create the product for eggs, it's a fresh product. And so sometimes there is a unique sort of odor, and we're actually able to get rid of those odors that are unique to eggs. So compared to using an existing egg, we can actually provide a lot of benefits to consumers. And so that is why that is the basis of creating materials and products. So through the various presentations, we heard that I think that for all genres, egg is very important, and using food tech solutions, we can actually focus on the various functions of an egg and try to create an alternative egg that is really delicious and something that people want to eat. So after the presentation, we asked our presenters some questions. So now I would like to open the floor for more questions. So if anyone has any questions, please use this opportunity to ask our presenters questions. We are providing simultaneous interpretation, so you can ask questions in English or Korean. So please raise your hand, then our staff will hand you a microphone. So the first question.
Hello. I am majoring food engineering in Korea University. My name is Park Gon-woong. So if you look at the health functional foods or alternative foods being distributed in Korea, or the ingredients that are used in these products are mostly imported. So in order for Korea to go global and succeed in the global market, do we need to localize our ingredients, or do we have to acknowledge the fact that the gap exists and that maybe we should focus more on the technology and advancing the technology? So I think that the question is addressed to all the speakers. Yes, maybe we can get brief answer from each of the speakers. So in terms of food tech, maybe we can get the answer first from David.
So I think, I'm not sure if each of us answering this question is meaningful, but we don't focus on functional foods, so it might be a little bit difficult for me to answer your question. But in which area can we have competitiveness? I think that is something that we should look at rather than trying to create it in Korea. If we look at processing technology from COSMAXNBT, they talked about processing technology. If you have outstanding technology, we can use overseas material. For our company, using Korean ingredients, we do carry out tests to create out various proteins. But reality, of course, in terms of research, you might get good functions or performance. So I think I'm probably the only person who can answer this question. So that is why I'm giving a very long answer. So everyone else is working on a global sort of stage. agricultural produce from Korea, we carry out various tests. I don't know, there is a bean that is white and has a different functions and it creates a lot of foam. And so how do you use this ingredient? When you think about this question, it's not easy to get the answer. So each individual company, rather than thinking about how to grow this, I think from an industry point of view, we have to look at about creating and using database about different food products and also creating a database about the different product functions. I think that maybe Foodpolis could help us create this type of database, and that would help us to commercialize technologies and products. At the end of the day, companies want to generate profits, and I don't think anyone wants to use materials where they're actually losing money. So, of course, you can use this material to actually create demand in the near future, but I think in the long term, you need to have infrastructure institutions in place for sustainability. So I think I should be the only one maybe answer this question. So maybe someone else wants to answer the question.
김정은 대표님이 말씀하신 내용에 좀 추가해서
Adding to what David just said,
당연히 한국의 특수한 자원들을 활용을 해서
of course, it would be nice if we can use like local resources in Korea to localize the resources. But nowadays, the trend is collaboration. So we have the lemon balm extract in Korea, and this ingredient can be
기능성 소재들과
complemented together with other types of extracts in Korea to go for clinical trials and get approval. So I don't think that it is the right way to go for just localization, only Korea. I think the best way is to go out there and seek external partners and establish like partnership and collaboration for a win-win effect. And of course, I recommend benchmarking the best practices of global companies because global companies, they just not focus on developing materials, but they have a long-term vision. They have a long-term vision based on the consumer trends in the next 5, 10, 15 years. They develop these type of materials in line of those evolving trends. So no matter how good a material is, if it's not accepted by the consumer, it's not marketable. So all of your efforts will go up in the air. So that is why I would recommend, collaborating with global companies like Nestlé here, because it is very important to be keen on what kind of functionality that the consumers in the future will be interested. That is why you have to continue to do research and study when developing materials.
Do you have any? No? No?
Maybe just to agree totally with what both have just said, that you need a competitive advantage, you need an enabling environment, and most of the trends are moving towards collaboration.
All right. It was more than enough the answer to share. 감사합니다. 그러면 두 번째 질문 혹시
So we will take another question. So if there is another question from the floor.
네, 바로 말씀해 주시면 됩니다.
네. 일단 발표
So once again, thank you very much for the wonderful presentations.
IFF 하는 점에서
I have a question for Ms. Han from IFF.
프로바이오틱스 제외하고
Other than probiotics, what are some popular ingredients in the global market and what are the claims attached to them?
제가 질문을 잘 이해했는지 다시 한번 좀 여쭤보고 싶은데.
I would like to repeat your question if I understood it right. So other than probiotics, you asked what is the most accepted and sold ingredients in the world? Is that the question? Yes.
글로벌 시장 자료를 보시면
If you look at the global market statistics,
프로바이오틱스뿐만 아니라
but not only like probiotics, but
장 건강이라든지 면역
there are also
니즈가 많기 때문에
a lot of needs regarding GI health and immunity. So we have to not forget about vitamins.
기능성에 대한
because there is a huge need for immune health in Korea. So the vitamins and minerals products are gaining a lot of momentum. I don't know about the exact size of this segment, but if you want further information, I can get back to you with my business card, and then we will share with you more detailed information about the market. So when it comes to the market size and the functional ingredients, you also mentioned about claims. And as I introduced in my presentation, GI health and immune health represent the largest portion of the market. But we do not just end there. We have to continue to study and examine the changing needs of the consumers, and that is why there are lots of developments going on in terms of functional materials. And as I said, there is a growing interest in women's health in Asian countries. It's becoming more and more prominent, and a lot of related products are being sold. And that is why we should not forget about women or women's health in developing a product. I myself am a woman, but there is a life stage of a woman that we have to consider in developing our product and marketing our product. And you should take note of that in order to be successful. Yes, so I think that was a very important tip or know-how in terms of running a business. Now, moving on to the next question from the floor. I think that we have many people raising their hands up.
So first of all, I would like to say thank you for the wonderful presentations. I have a question for Mr. Takashi.
So the eval applied products, are they being exported a lot? I would like to know how much of those exports are taking place and what kind of impact that had on your company business, Kuraray.
So first of all, we produce EVA in the 3 factories in Okayama and also U.S. Houston and Belgium, EU. So we have 3 sites, and now we export to all over the world from these 3 plants. And now, how can I say, in Japanese sales amount is very limited. So Kuraray is the Japanese company, but Japanese sales amount is very limited. And how can I say it? So what impact? Sorry, okay, my understanding is okay. So we already sold in the world very much.
All over the world, every country in all the global market?
Almost.
Almost, okay. Hopefully it's going to be 100% soon, all right? Okay. 감사합니다. 그 마켓 사이즈에 대해서도 지금
Yes, so that was a question about the market size and also answer about the market size. I think that we can also get back to you with more details. I would like to know who wants to ask questions.
So thank you for the presentations. I am from the Korea Food Research Institute of Korea. I have a question for Mr. Kim from Intake. So you were talking about alternative protein, and are there any products that you are creating that are plant-based? And you were talking about animal protein, and I was wondering if there are is it possible for us to completely replace animal protein products? What do you think about the prospects? So we're looking at how to change the animal protein to plant-based protein. So that's what I should tell you, right? Yes. So I actually quickly went through my slides, so I wasn't able to explain in detail. But in terms of alternative meat, we want to create really delicious chicken, and we are working with a chicken expert. So we are working with a company and doing joint research with them. So the most delicious chicken, we want to provide an experience that goes beyond just alternative meat. Up until now, people have been trying to, for example, when you go to a fine restaurant, they try to create fine restaurants and provide meals. If you go to a fine restaurant, of course, the product might be delicious, but it's not a product you're going to eat on a daily basis. But chicken is something you eat every day. And we wanted to bring a lot of change in the chicken product. And we thought that we would be able to create a lot of impact. So we are working with a partner. So we want to make chicken that everyone wants to eat. That is our biggest sort of challenge. And so we are developing, chicken breast, and we have been actually, studying chicken meat itself. But do we really need to replace animal protein with plant-based protein? That's something we have to think about. I mean, for some products, you might actually have to replace animal protein with plant protein. Depends on the value that the company is pursuing. For our motto, we look at climate change. We look at providing, food supply. So our concept is let's replace meat that is most consumed by people. And we are looking at microorganisms, looking at alternative food sources such as algae and seafood. So I think then we can actually replace animal protein as well as meat from livestock industry. So around the world, there's about 31 billion livestock animals, and I understand there are 25 billion chickens. So they actually impact the environment much more than humans. And in the livestock industry, I think they have to also think about the environmental sort of challenges. That's something that we have to think as well. And so that will sort of be the direction moving forward.
Thank you very much. Now, I think we have a person raising hand on the side. Hello. Thank you for all the presentations. I have a question for Mr. Caso. So at Foodpolis, we have an international conference looking at issues from the food industry every year. So Nestlé is leading the food industry. And in 2025, what do you think will be the key words or sort of the key trends? And in the long term, for the next generation, what sort of topics will be important in the food industry?
Thank you for a wonderful question, because it's looking towards the future. And of course, I don't know. I can just speculate from what I see and what we talk about within my own organization. I think questions about sustainability, questions about regenerative, questions about true change to the previous question, education, because many of these new questions are raising new solutions, but where maybe the consumer hasn't necessarily selected that that's what I want. And that means that all of us across the value chain, including companies, all the way down to Foodpolis and institutions such as Foodpolis, there's an educational component at play. And we all play a part of that, both starting with ourselves. And I can tell you, within Nestlé, over the last 15 years, all of us as leaders have had to learn these topics, learn what we can control, learn what stakeholders beyond us, because of course it's broad, who does what and how do we work together. And that is a constant theme that is accelerating a little bit, but I see that being critical because, and it was mentioned in several of the presentations today, legal parameters are changing in parts of the world where there are now questions and regulations and demands and requests that all of us have to play within those rules, and there's a lot of change coming associated with that. So I think identifying the context, selecting what it is we can do, what it is we need others to accomplish together, but ideally moving in directions that are sustainable and ideally at a faster pace, because these are fundamental questions that we can't be late on. When we're talking about things like greenhouse gas, when we're talking about sustainable agricultural value chains, when we're talking about economic interests of individual industries. So speed and sustainability.
Thank you very much for your great answer. And collaboration and setting of new regulation and systems might be very key factors for future generation. 감사합니다. 계속해서
Yes, thank you very much. We have 4 minutes left. Maybe we can get 2 more questions, or maybe 1 question, more a profound question maybe. Hello, I am Iana from Foodpolis Food Promotion Institute, and I have a question for.
회사에서 독성 관련 연구를 하고 있는데요. 저희가 독성을 하게 되면 아무래도 접근하는 방법이
research. And so, when we talk about toxic materials, of course, we have to think about safety. But if you're developing alternative meat, I'm sure that there are various different options or technologies that you can use. And we talk about technological advancements in these presentations a lot, but we don't really talk about safety of alternative meat or alternative food products. So I was wondering if you can maybe talk about safety with regard to alternative meat. I think this will be our last question and answer. So I am going to provide the last question to the last question. So with regard to safety, when we talk about alternative meat, of course, I don't think safety is a big issue because we're already using existing ingredients. We're not using something new. In the other sessions, you might have seen this, but is it a substance or a process that is already existing? That is a really important question when we define whether food is novel or not. So we are using existing ingredients, using existing processes, and we have a history of eating this food product, then I think that acceptance is much easy. If that is not the case, of course, then safety might be an issue. For plant-based products, of course, safety is less of an issue because a lot of the protein is actually extracted from plants that we've already eaten before. And so, but if it's cultivated meat or cultivated protein, then maybe safety might be an issue. And so we are actually doing a safety test for the next 5 years. And based on this activity, we'll be able to determine whether it's safe or not. So some people will be, really against it. They're going to talk about an issue of cultivation. Some people are saying there is no issue. You can digest it. So science will tell us. If you look at insects, of course, people have tried insects before, but in terms of extracting and compressing it and making it into a concentration, are we going to use the same sort of test? So basically, we're using ingredients that people have already tasted, and we're using processes or methods that people have used. But cultivated meat or microbial food products, I'm sure that moving forward, safety will become an important criteria. So in order to apply it to the industry quickly, what sort of method can we employ? Out of the two methods, I think it would be better to use existing methods. There is a new thing that we're doing. It is creating microbial protein. And when you try to use microorganisms, there are sometimes microorganisms that you cannot use. And so we are using yeast. And we are creating a protein ingredient that is not based on GMO. And so these products, I think, can be recognized in the market as similar to existing products. And then we are also trying to create or find products that can actually get government approval quickly. So we'd like to thank Mr. Kim for his perfect answer and for being on time time. So there are many people with many questions, but due to time constraints, we will end the panel discussion here. So once again, we would like to thank the CEO of Nestlé Korea, Mr. Thomas Caso. He delivered the keynote speech, and he was also a panel discussant. So could you maybe, in closing, share with us your thoughts on today's symposium?
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much.
First of all, thank you very much. It was an honor and a pleasure to be here. Congratulations and thank you to my fellow panelists for wonderful presentations as well. I think this is the spirit to the question I answered just before, that we need to be getting together, we need to be sharing learnings, we need to find collaboration opportunities. These are very big questions, a lot of change dynamics, and I'm happy to be a part by being here today.
Thank you very much for making this conference even more special and valuable. 네, 마지막 총평과 함께 멋지게 이 패널 토론까지
So thank you very much for those wrap-up remarks. I would like to thank Mr. Caso, Ms. Han, and also Mr. Takashi and Mr. Kim. So please thank them with a big round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 네, 안전하게 하단해 주시면 되겠습니다. 네, 여러분 어떠셨나요? 오늘 여러분과 함께
So how was the conference? With this, the 14th Foodpolis International Conference has come to an end. I would like to thank all the participants in person and online for joining us today. And Mafra, Jeonbuk Special Self-Governing Province, Iksan, and Foodpolis will continue to explore the future direction of a sustainable food industry and strengthen the industry's competitiveness through international cooperation and information exchange. Thank you for staying with us until very long, until the end of today's program. And thank you and goodbye.